Hey guys, Coach Rob here. I wanted to go through a stretch known as the Piriformis stretch. And for those of you that are dealing with sciatica issues that you've have already validated are starting from the hip and not from your lower lumbar, this is a stretch that you want to be implementing after you've got a good 10 to 15 minute warm up. The tissue is at an optimum temperature and ready to receive some stretching. The stretch itself is not that sophisticated. It's more about doing it correctly, and I want to make sure that you understand how to isolate the muscle for maximum results. What you want to do is lay flat on your back, and what I want you to understand is I'm going to be stretching as you're looking at the screen. I'm going to be stretching my right leg, which is going to look like the left on the screen. And what I want you to pay attention to is, believe it or not, is my other leg. When I lay flat on my back here, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that my foot, okay, I need to make sure that my foot is straight up and down. I need to make sure that the left leg, that the hips are squared off. Very important, because the piriformis is all part of the hip joint itself. You have 7 deep lateral rotators that go up and around the head of the femur, and that's what we're going to be isolating and stretching. So what you're going to do is, like I said, I'm going to be stretching my right leg, so I'm bringing my knee up towards my chest, and then what I'm going to do is just come across. So I'm bringing my right kneecap towards my left shoulder. That's what we're trying to just isolate and stretch. Now, the thing that I want you to understand in relationship to this stretch is I'm not trying to make it a race. I'm not trying to test how far I can take the muscle. What you want to do is you want to take it just deep enough till you feel a stretch in the lateral part of your hip. It's going to be gluteus maximus, minimus. You're going to get down in there into obviously the glutes, as I mentioned, the quadratus femoris. There's so many different muscles in that area that you want to isolate. You may even feel it in the ITB, which is iliotibial band, maybe up in the tensor fasciae lata, TFL up in the hip. The thing you have to understand is there's not one right or wrong muscle that you're trying to isolate. It's a sum total of all. So sometimes just trying to initiate a stretch is going to engage the other muscles, and what that shows you is that they're tight as well. I'm just coming across. Now, once I feel this starting to release in my hip, what I'm going to do is with my hand, I'm going to hold the lateral part of my knee, and I'm going to try to push it away from me. Okay, and what that does is that engages all the tissue. Hold that for 3 seconds, relax, and then see if I can't deepen it even further. All right. The idea behind stretching, and I don't want to bore you with a lot of big words, but essentially when it comes to stretching, you have what's called a stretch reflex, and you don't want to try to engage that. You want to actually work with it. The stretch reflex is something that happens in an apparatus called the Golgi apparatus. When you pull the muscle too far too soon, what happens is it actually shortens. So in your attempt to lengthen the tissue and get better range of motion, if you stretch too quickly, like bouncing, or if you pull it too hard, all you're going to do is you're actually going to shorten the tissue up. That's why some people actually get hurt trying to stretch, because they don't know how to stretch. You want to hold all stretches for 3 to 5 seconds until you feel that muscle relax. Take a deep breath and then deepen it in a little bit further. Now, when I asked you to resist against your hand, the idea there is, the physiological concept is known as maximum contraction equals maximum relaxation. So by holding a little bit of resistance and you pushing it away from yourself, as I mentioned, it engages all those lateral rotators. Then when you relax, take the pressure off, you'll be able to deepen that stretch even further. So I hope that explains how to stretch the piriformis. Obviously, I showed you on my right leg. It would be the same thing on the left. I would just be taking my left kneecap towards my right shoulder. Try to do that is only after you've warmed the tissue up sufficiently to avoid tearing it. If you have any questions on this stretch or any of our videos at CoachRobb.com, please hit the contact tab above. Email myself or anyone on staff, and we'll be happy to answer any question that you may have. We appreciate you watching the video, and we'll see you next time.